Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about two visions that I had yesterday on the morning of the Saturday Shabbat, which is the original Hebrew Sabbath. And Saturn, in the non-Hebrew faiths, Saturday is usually associated with Saturn, the energy of discipline and restrictions. Okay. And, and Yeshua, who was a Jewish man, when he was crucified, he was wearing red, which, in Asian culture, when you're trying to appease the Lord of Karma with an offering, you wear red. But I discussed that in a previous video about a little season that has a picture of a fish, so that's a different subject. So anyway, on yesterday's Sabbath, on that morning, I had two visions. And the first vision that I had really reminds me of an incident that I witnessed a year ago here in Lancaster, Ohio, when I first returned during Hebrew Judgment Day after being away from this city for a year in other locations. So what happened a year ago that really reminds me of a vision I had yesterday morning. What happened a year ago is that like 100 turkey buzzards, which is the American version of vultures, they landed in front of Fairfield Family Medical Center on Main Street. And the bus driver, Harold, he was a witness, and he was the only other person on the bus with me at that time. And also multiple Main Street Kroger employees were witnesses too. And when those 100 vultures landed in front of Fairfield Family Medical Center, there was no trash there. There was no carcass there. There was nothing there. They just came down from out of the sky. And right in front of that building. And I had no idea what everybody was staring at until they came down and landed on the ground. And once they came down and landed on the ground, then that's when it finally clicked for me, because with the position I was sitting in on the bus, I couldn't see anything, and I didn't understand what everybody would be staring at like, but it was probably literally at least 100 birds. I had never seen anything like it in my entire life. Even living in the mountains, never saw anything like that. And Harold, who was an elderly white male gentleman with snow white hair, he's never seen anything like that in his life either, and he's been around a long, long time. And so anyhow, the vision I had Saturday morning, it reminds me of that Hebrew Judgment Day season event that I witnessed last year with the bus driver Harold and multiple Main Street Kroger employees. So anyhow, in yesterday's vision, which reminds me of what happened a year ago, in the vision, I saw the clear blue sky above me, and it was a sunny day, but in the vision, I saw a clear blue sky with like maybe 15 or 20 turkey buzzards, which is American vultures, circling in the sky. And I felt this energy that felt like it was like urging me to look up. And that's it. That's the only thing I saw in the vision. And it just kind of reminds me of what happened a year ago, but a much, much smaller scale version of that. And, it's significant to me because this year, Hebrew Judgment Day fell in the first week of October instead of September. So this time around, this is the same time frame as the previous event that I witnessed a year ago. It's roughly around about 2 weeks after Hebrew Judgment Day, just give or take maybe like 2 or 3 days. So it's the same time frame basically for this week, the first part of this week. And so that's all I have. All I have is just a vision of something similar to a year ago, but on a much smaller scale. And also I don't have details on what that might mean. I really don't. And the second vision that I had yesterday on the morning of the Saturday Shabbat, I saw the vision kind of looked like a really, really old-fashioned photograph from like the old days with the really old flash cameras. And the vision was like in different shades of brown, like in some of the really, really old-fashioned pictures. And it showed like kind of like the silhouette of what maybe might have been a Native American man, maybe. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it could just be a non-Native person who just has like short shoulder length straight hair. And the person is in motion, but whoever that person with the short shoulder length hair is, I couldn't really clearly see who it was in the vision. Like in the vision, my spiritual sight was fuzzy and not clear, just like how bad my eyesight has been in real life. So that one was kind of different, and I don't really have supporting details on that one either. And so those were my two visions on the morning of the Saturday Shabbat yesterday, the Hebrew Shabbat. And then after I fell asleep, then I just had this really intense, really long, ultra detailed dream that just really kind of took my breath away, because I've never had a dream quite like the Saturday night dream in my entire life. This one was very different in some specific ways, and it literally took my breath away. I woke up like, whoa. But with the Saturday night dream, without going into a whole lot of detail on the whole long drawn out thing, there was one scene where I was seeing the creator of all things, but in the Chinese form. And he wasn't actually physical or solid. He was just an image made from points of light and lines in a lot of different colors, almost like fireworks. And he was saying, and this could have been the creator, or it could have been some other type of being, I don't know, but he was saying, you only exist to sacrifice yourself to me one time. That's what he said to me, and in the dream. And so I'm not completely sure if that was the creator in Chinese form. I'm not really sure if that was something else. All I know is that it is this being who just appeared saying, you only exist to sacrifice yourself to me one time. And I thought, oh, okay, so what am I supposed to make of this? So there's a whole lot more to it than just that I'm still trying to kind of unpack and analyze and understand. And hopefully I'm not going to get it totally and completely wrong in my attempt to interpret it and then find out later that I got it wrong. Hopefully it's not going to be that kind of a deal.